Cumming, Georgia is one of the fastest growing cities in all of Metro Atlanta. People from all over the country and all over the world are moving here.
But is it still actually affordable, or has it quietly become one of the most expensive suburbs in the Metro Atlanta area?
We're gonna break down the entire list, so make sure you stay tuned because I bet some of these things are gonna surprise you before you make the big move.
Let's talk about the true cost of living in Cumming, Georgia, and we're gonna start with your number one biggest expense, and that is the price tag of your home here in this city.
Well, I think everyone starts with the home prices. Like, that's our first thing. They jump on Zillow, jump on Realtor.com, and like, how much are the homes? Are they 200,000 or are they multi-million, right? So what are we buying? And really the median home price, probably about 500,000, but you can also get a single family home for 300, maybe 400,000, all the way up to 5 million. So it really just depends. There's a lot of homes that are on the lake. There are smaller homes that are on the lake. They're gonna be a little less money, under $1 million. There's also those ranch homes that are in subdivisions that are about 400,000 or 500,000 with big neighborhoods. And I think there's just a variety of price points, which is great. So many people are moving to Cumming, Georgia because you get a variety of different style of homes and people absolutely love that. I think that's one of the biggest drawing points is look how beautiful these homes are. Look how big these lots are. Look what we get as far as the amenities, with these homes. And that's just a couple of the things we're gonna talk about with the cost of living, because it's not just the cost of homes. There are so many other things you have to take into consideration when looking about moving, especially if you're moving from out of state or out of country. It's a big change depending on where you're moving from.
And if you're looking for new construction, that's also happening here in Cumming, Georgia, and those price points are gonna be higher than our low end that we just talked about. We've done a lot of new construction tours and taken clients to see these homes, and I would say in this area, you're not getting anything under $675. That's probably the bare minimum, but most of these new neighborhoods are $750 and plus. So that's something to consider too. If you're only looking for new construction, where's your budget? And is this now going to affect all the other things that you have to pay for you and your family?
I also think it matters on the size of the home that you're going after, because a lot of these new construction homes are big. I mean, we're talking 3, 4, 5,000 square foot homes, and not everyone needs that. So when you're out there looking at homes or you're looking online and you see a lot of these new construction, you're like, hey, we can't afford 800,000, 900,000. Don't worry, there are plenty of other homes. Actually, I want to back up because there are some new constructions that are at 400,000. I was just showing a property a couple weeks ago, totally forgot about, north of Lake Lanier, $395. It wasn't a big home. It had a garage, it had a kitchen, it had bedrooms. That's all you really need in a home. But the point is that price points can really vary. Now, not do you only just worry about the price points, it's a secondary cost. And I think this is where people are really surprised when living here on both the higher cost and the lower cost when it comes to secondary costs. So let's get into that right now.
Secondary costs can definitely be something that might surprise you, that is much higher than what you're used to or much lower than what you're used to. I'm gonna be honest, I don't usually research these things. That's more something that he does when we make the big move. I'm just more excited about the house and the schools and what's close by. But
like the backyard size?
Yes, that's very important. We have a lot of clients though that are big planners and smart like this one and want to know, okay, if I do get one of these big new homes, how much is it going to cost me, maintenance inside, maintenance outside? And so those are things that you do want to compare to where you're coming from. And like I said, it might be more or it might be less.
So I got a little list on my phone, so I'm gonna do the cheat sheet here, but we're gonna start with the first thing, which is HOAs. HOAs can vary. I mean, they can be as low as $40, $50 a month, like it is in our neighborhood where we still get a pool, still get pickleball or tennis, however you look at it. And then there's other areas that are gated a little bit more money. But for the most part, the HOAs aren't ridiculous. You might find a couple neighborhoods that are a couple $100s for the HOAs, but it makes sense on that price point for those homes. So that is one thing as far as the secondary cost. But let's get into the other thing that nobody considers, and we did not consider this when we moved, and that's the secondary cost of the lawn care. Look behind us. All those trees and all that grass has got to be cut and got to be maintained. So when you are looking at these homes with some land on it, who's gonna mow that lawn? And I didn't have a riding lawnmower when we moved from California, so I knew that was something we were gonna pay for. I didn't know how to do all those things, those manly things that these Georgians know how to do. But the cost of mowing these lawns could be $200, $300, $400. every single month, and that could be expensive even when it's a dormant time of the season. So that's just a couple of things. Now,
because it's not just your lawn. They've got to maintain all these trees and trim them and keep them nice because it rains so much here, stuff grows like crazy.
Right.
So yes, the maintenance of your landscaping could be more than where you are coming from.
Now, with all the trees and all that comes the pest. And so you're gonna have the pest control, you're gonna have the maintenance of just keeping the bugs off your property, whether they're the big spiders, they call them banana spiders, don't freak out when you see those when you move to Georgia, but you're gonna have those and all kinds of just different insects that you gotta maintain. So you have the pest control. Now, let's get into electricity and gas.
Wait, you have to talk about pest control. Usually they come and spray every 3 or 4 months. It's usually about $75 to $100 every time they come out. So really not that expensive for them to spray the outdoors and indoors of your home.
So let's talk about the electricity and the gas. Now, this is one of my favorite parts about living in Cumming, Georgia. Well, just in Georgia in general, is the cost of electricity is very inexpensive. I always talk about this in our home tours because that is the truth. Our home is a good size. It's 3 times the size of our previous home, yet our electricity bill is cheaper. So go figure, electricity is really cheap. Less than 10 cents a kilowatt. If there's anyone out there who actually checks that stuff, I think I'm the only one. And by the way, did you call me smart? That's the first time you've ever called me smart. So I got that on camera. And now we're gonna also talk about the water consumption because if you're moving from a state where it's drier and less rainfall, then the cost of water is gonna be more expensive. Here in Georgia, it rains plenty. So to worry about the water here in Georgia, I think is kind of a thing of the past. You don't really need to worry about how much the cost of water is. Plus, irrigation is typically free because you get it from Mother Nature. You get all the rain that helps out with that.
Yeah, we have a family of 4 and we each shower once, maybe twice a day because we go to the gym, we do sports, it gets hot, we sweat, and we do not have any irrigation system in our, 0.6 acres, but just the amount of laundry, taking showers, and dishes in our home is
$40 a month.
$50 a month for a family of 4. So just to put into perspective, that's the kind of water usage per month that you'll be looking at for your bill, which is very inexpensive.
And keep in mind, our 10-year-old daughter just turned 10. She washes her jacket after wearing it for 2 minutes. And so we're doing extra laundry. It's probably, our water bill could probably be cut in 50.
$30 a month.
Yeah, it'd probably be less just on that. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, and this is kind of across the board, and we talked about this in other videos, is just the internet costs. It's not really high or low, but the fact that you get really fast internet, it's about $80 a month. So I know a lot of homes, especially these bigger homes, you got to have these Wi-Fi packages that cover the home. That's about what you're looking at, probably $80, $90, somewhere right in there. So not a huge cost. Now, the other thing, the last thing that we're going to talk about with the secondary cost is the property taxes in Georgia. We used to live in Austin, Texas, and I'm going to tell you that is one of the most expensive places to live when you're talking about secondary costs, because the cost of the homes, you get these big homes and they're cheap, but those secondary property taxes kill you. I know New Jersey's got high taxes, and here in Cumming, Georgia, it's less than 1%, and there's exemptions as well to even make that even less. So that is a really nice thing. So if you have a $600,000 or $700,000 home, your property taxes are probably going to range in that $4,000 to $5,000 mark, which is nice. Now, the downfall of this, and this is kind of a crappy situation, is that as the assessed values go up and more people are moving here, your property taxes are going to go up. It's not really capped like it is in some other states. So you got to take that into consideration. If you're on a fixed income, if you're retiring, make sure you plan accordingly that in 5 years, your property tax could be a little bit more than on the first day that you buy it. So if that is something you're concerned, reach out to us because we can talk about that a little more detail off camera of what that may look like for you. So speaking of taxes, I want to jump into the next thing because there are a lot of other taxes outside of property tax that I think matter to those relocation or anyone who's thinking of making a move to Cumming, Georgia. Okay, Am, you do all the shopping. What's the sales tax like out here?
I did have to look this up because when we first got here, we went to dinner and I went to tip, and usually you just double the sales tax from where we are from. And I looked and I'm like, this does not look like this would be a 20% tip. And it wasn't, because we are used to a sales tax that is about 10%. That is not what it is here in Cumming, Georgia. So you first have your state tax, which is the Georgia state tax, 4%. And then each county is going to have its own tax for that actual county, and we are 3% here.
Yeah,
so
Forsyth County is 3% for the sales tax. So you take the 3% plus the 4%. So you have a grand total of 7% sales tax. So if you buy something that's $100, $7 will go toward the tax. Now, that's great, right? Sales tax kind of comes and goes, but there is a tax that I do like, and not everyone likes taxes, and it's a tax I do like, and it's the car registration tax, I guess. And there is a two-sided monster to this, because when you're moving from another state and you're bringing your car, you got to pay a high, hefty fee to bring that car in. Especially if you have more than one car. If you have 3 or 4 cars, this can cost you. So
they call it a title ad valorem tax, and it's a one-time fee when you bring that car from another state.
So what they do is they charge you a 3% tax, a one-time 3% tax on what the car value is. So let's say your car is worth $50,000, your tax on that's gonna be $1,500. If you guys are with me on the math, 100,000, 3% is 3,000, divide that in half. All right, so we're all on the same page. So
see, you are smart.
Okay.
You're rattling numbers off today.
So we're looking at $1,500 just to bring your car into the state. So I said it was a two-sided monster. The other side of it is, well, I guess this is the good part of it, is your annual tax registration on my car is only $20. $20, no matter if your car's a $100,000 car or a $5,000 Humpty, it doesn't matter.
Or how heavy it is, and how much you drive it, doesn't matter.
So $20 is what you're looking at for the registration. Now, depending on the year of the car, you're gonna have to get an emission test done. That can be another $20, $25. So I would say a safe number is probably $50 for your annual registration on your car. Now, I know some states are a little bit higher, maybe 70, 80, but some states are like $800, $900 a year. So there can be a big difference depending on where you're relocating from. So I think that is a nice thing. We have been telling our clients, hey, if you're moving from out of state and there's a possibility you don't have to bring in these extra cars, just sell your cars in that state and then buy another car here. It's going to benefit you in the long run. So we're all about saving money for our clients, and that's one little tip that we give away.
Also, if you do buy a car here, so there's 2 caveats. One is an electric car. I have an electric car. It is a little bit more expensive for registration every year. I want to say your car is like that $50 with the emission. Mine's I think like $150 because I don't pay gas tax. So I get a little bit dinged right there because I have electric.
I'm gonna shoot something down. You guys are not gonna like this, but the registration, it's due on your birthday every year. So happy birthday, but you gotta pay the money back. All right.
Wait, hold on. The one last thing. If you buy a car here, so let's say you already live here, your car's registered, whatever, and I'm like, hey, I wanna go trade my car in, you are only paying taxes on the difference between the cars. So let's say my car is $50,000 and they give me $25,000 like credit for my car. I'm only actually paying taxes on the $25,000. And that was something our clients were super excited about because they have come from states where you pay the tax of the fully new price car. So that did save them some money when, you know, they had a baby and they needed to upgrade and get this new minivan or new Suburban. So that was a great thing too.
Yeah, so you're just paying the tax of the difference of the price. So for the $50,000 is the difference is $25,000 if you're trading at $25,000. So pretty simple math for most people. But yeah, it's a nice savings because sometimes you're getting double taxation when you're selling your car and you're buying another car and you're paying tax on another whole car and you got no credit on your previous car. So that is a great thing. Now, speaking of cars, I want to touch into something that I know a lot of people will kind of know this. I know this number off the top of my head.
My dad knows this number.
It's the cost of gasoline. And this is one thing that I love because when we lived in the West Coast, it was higher. Whether it was regular gasoline or diesel, it was just a lot more money. And with the amount of driving that you're having to do, it ends up adding up. Now, in other states that we've lived in, such as Austin, Texas, gas was relatively inexpensive. And the same thing here in Georgia. Cost of gas is very inexpensive, in my opinion, depending on where you buy it. But I will say, if you are going to fill up your car, do it on a Sunday, because what I've noticed is come Monday, they jack those prices up another 20 cents. And they let those gas prices trickle down throughout the week.
He watches these prices like a hawk. I mean, he knows by like, oh, guess what, Amber? Yesterday it was 5 cents less, or he knows exactly. So he is, and I started paying attention. He's right. On Mondays, there it goes, and then Tuesday it's back down.
I thought you never listened to me, and here you are. You're repeating what I'm telling you. All right, so I think that is something to know. Gas prices are going to range about $2. Right now, they're $2.74. So I want to say a safe number is between $2.70 and $2.90 for 87 regular gasoline to put in your lawnmower or your Honda Civic or whatever kind of car you're driving. If you're talking about premium gas, that's going to obviously go up. You're probably in that $3.10, maybe $3.30. And then if you have a diesel motor, that's probably going to run about $3.30 to about $3.50. Not a huge deal. I know I get weirded out on these gas prices prices, even though it probably only cost me $1.50 difference if I wait till Sunday versus Monday and fill it up. So it's silly for me. But the point is, I know a lot of people are always wondering what the cost of gasoline is here in Georgia, and there's your answer. All right, let's move on to a couple other things, because some of these other things I think are going to surprise people, because I know it surprised us. So there's a couple more that we're going to talk about, but stay tuned because you are going to be surprised, especially if you have a family. We all have to eat food, and so we got to look at that grocery bill. How much is that costing? Do you eat in your home or do you eat out? It just depends. I have friends that eat out 7 days a week and they spend so much more money than if they were to eat at home. So this is going to talk to all the people out there. So first, let's kind of reference where we're coming from. We have 4 people in our family plus our favorite person in the house, which is our dog Phoenix. Well, she's my favorite person. I'm not gonna say that too much because the kids get mad. But for a family of 4, I would say on average, we're probably $200 a week in groceries. Sometimes we spend $150 on Sunday and we spend another $50 here and there. But I would say it's about $200 a week. I would say milk is about $2 to $3 a gallon. We've seen, I know egg prices have been all over the place, but now they kind of settled down here at the end of 2025. Yes. We're seeing eggs about $2.50 as well. Now, this will depend on where you shop. If you're shopping at more higher end places or more the organic food, then of course it's going to cost you more. We shop at all the places. We shop at Aldi, Publix, Kroger, Trader Joe's, Sprouts. We do them all. And
Target.
we do them all because we like to shop for the deals. I know that there's certain deals on certain days based on where you're shopping, but I also go for the convenience factor. We have Aldi right down the street. And if you guys haven't checked out Aldi, you got to. I think this is the greatest thing.
It took me like 3 months to get him to walk in that store.
And now I just can't get out of there because I love shopping there. It's just so easy and convenient. But yeah, the cost of groceries is not really that bad. So I would say for a family of 4, if you're cooking your food at home, and we're talking probably 5 meals, 5 dinners a week at home, maybe eating out 2 days a week, you're probably looking about $1,000 a month in groceries. Now let's talk about if you're going out to eat, because this kind of surprised us as well. When we moved here from the West Coast and we came here, the first place we went to was Giorgio's. Well, the second place we went to was Giorgio's, and our kids got pasta. They love pasta, love Italian food, and they were able to get a big bowl of pasta, and it was like $5. It was $4.95. I couldn't believe it. I haven't seen those prices in years. So our total cost of dinner for a family of 4, I would say is right about $50. We don't buy many drinks. We don't buy many appetizers. So take that into consideration based on how big your family is and what you like to eat. But I think
that was the kids like 2 kids menu items. So
and I think for the most part, the adult meals are between $10 and $20 depending on where you go. So it's not really that outrageous. Cumming, Georgia has some nice restaurants, but not super high end. If you want high end, you're going down to Alpharetta, and your cost for food is definitely going to go up. But if you want to save money, you could eat here in Cumming or go up to Dawsonville or cook at home, because there are a lot of food options in my opinion, whether they're, big name brands or just some of these small barbecue places. So you have a lot of options. But yeah, the food isn't terrible in comparison to a lot of other places.
I would say it's very similar to where we moved from the West Coast. I do think it's great.
I think you're wrong.
You really?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The groceries seem the same to me.
The groceries do, but when you go to the cost of eating out in the West Coast was a lot
Maybe
more money.
Maybe a little bit more there.
Yeah, we're looking at
We don't eat out a lot. We love to cook at home. I've got a lot of food allergies and a lot of things. So we eat very healthy too. So think about that, $1,000 a month. And this is getting you like some good organic, fresh fruits, veggies, meat. And the other thing that's great is Robert did mention there's all the different varieties of stores, because Publix is very expensive compared to like your Kroger and your Aldi, but you're not limited to that because we do have all the options here in Cumming. And the other thing that
still have
Robert,
Costco and Sam's Club, you still have those options.
Big box like stores for big families. And we've got people all over the city selling organic eggs at their front doorstep. You'll drive by, you see a sign that says fresh eggs, leave money in like cast box, and you go and you pick up the fresh eggs, $5 usually for a dozen fresh eggs. And then there's a lot of local farms close by. You can buy a whole cow, a quarter cow, split it with somebody, and get all your meat for the next 6 months. So that is great. There's a lot of different options for different price points and different types of shopping. So just compare this to where you are now and see if this hits on the list. Is this going to cost you more or about the same, or is it actually going to save you some money with the food cost here? Okay,
so we're still talking about family, but let's shift gears a little bit. Let's go in more into the entertainment for families, because that is something that, we really like about Cumming, Georgia. There's a lot of outdoor activities, but I also think with outdoor activity, keeps the cost down for family entertainment. When you live in a place that is super hot all the time or it's raining all the time, you got to go do indoor activities, and then of course they become businesses. There's a lot of parks here. There's, obviously Lake Lanier right down the street. There's a lot of things to do, but you also still have like the city center, which you can go and hang out and get drinks and get food and not have to sit there and tip, but bring the food out and have entertainment and have your friends come and hang out there. Now, you also have bowling, you have golfing. I think for the most part, it's going to be pretty average across the board, I would say, although they have great deals on Sunday bowling at Lucky Strikes. But for the most part, entertainment is inexpensive or expensive depending on what you like to do for fun. You also have Atlanta, that's only about 45 minutes away. So if you like to go to all the professional games and go to the Atlanta Braves games, those costs of those tickets are way less to go see than my LA Dodgers. So yeah. I do like that aspect of it because it gives the kids the experience to go to the football games, to go to the baseball games. Plus you have plenty of schools. We talk about this all the time. Friday Night Lights is a real thing when it comes to football. And the cost to go to these football games,
like $10 a person.
Yeah, you're probably with the kids, and the discounts are probably about $30 as a family of 4. So the cost of entertainment is really not that bad, but it really just depends on what you like to do. So reach out to us, give us a call, because we can kind of talk about little things based on what your lifestyle is, what you like to do, and kind of break that down a little bit more as far as that. Now, speaking of entertainment, I want to shift gears once again, because this is what I talked about. This is going to surprise you. It surprised me when we made the move out here. And that's the kids sports. The kids sports
did not surprise me.
Okay, well, the kids sports is very competitive here in the South, here in Georgia, at least here in North Atlanta. Our daughter, who is 10 years old, she plays on, I guess you call it a traveling team, but like just last weekend, we were up in North Carolina, 7-hour drive. So what comes with the kids entertainment is that all the extra expenses, but to be on these competitive teams, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, doesn't matter. We just dropped a check for, how much was that? $2,200 for Desi's soccer team?
That's the whole seat. So he's a little bit out of the loop because he has not remembered what it was like to play sports when he was little. She is on a high level traveling soccer team. So yes, it's $2,200 for the year, but it's an entire season from August to May, which includes 3 trainings a week and games on the weekends. But then, like you said, we just played in a tournament, so you've got tournament fees and hotel and all that. But these are the things that are out here. There's still Parks and Rec, so about $120 if you live within the city to do a basketball league, volleyball, tennis, pickleball. We've got our son in a tennis class right now. It's $75 for the month, so 1 day a week, great. There's definitely the lower end options, but like Robert said, it's very competitive here. So if you are having your kid in those high level sports, I don't think it's going to be any cheaper here than where you're coming from. I think across the board, it's all the same.
Drop it in the comments. You got to let me know, are you Team Robert or Team Amber? Is $2,200 outrageous for kids sports for a 10-year-old soccer player? Drop it in the comments. But
8 months, 3 practices a week, and games every Saturday and Sunday. Break it down.
Okay, but there's also the after school, not programs, but the after school activities. So they have like the art class. They have different things for the kids.
Certain schools will offer it.
Of course, but they do have that. And I think that's relatively inexpensive, $75 for maybe a 10-week course or whatever it may be. I think that is really great. One day a week, kids get to stay after. So that is entertainment for the kids. It's a relief on the parents, I guess, makes the school hours extend a little bit, gives us more time to do whatever we need to do. So that was a surprise to me when we moved here, but I mean, maybe Amber's right. Maybe I just don't pay attention to that stuff as much as the rest of you guys do.
I think the other surprise was daycare. So our kids really are not in that age group anymore. We don't need preschool. We did after school care the first year that we were here, but we still have friends with kids that age. And I did think it was going to be significantly cheaper here. And the shock was it's not. It's about the same as where we came from on the West Coast. So that was something I was not really expecting. I thought we would definitely save money on the daycare costs.
Okay. So I'm going to do something. It's kind of awkward. Just flexed real quick. And we're going to talk about gyms because I'm a gym goer. I go to the gym all the time. So we're going to talk about gyms because I would say about 50% of people go to gyms. And then the other 50% of people have a gym membership and don't go to the gym. So we're still paying for it whether you're going or not. So let's talk about the gyms because there's a lot of different options with the gyms. Of course, with these big homes that you get here in Cumming, Georgia, you can have a gym inside your home. That's going to save you money. You're not going to have a monthly gym membership. But for the people that go to Planet Fitness, LA Fitness, and some of these others, I think it's pretty on par. I would say probably anywhere from $30 to $50, depending on what kind of services you get. There are definitely some higher end gyms that give you more things or more one-on-one training. but they definitely don't lack the amount of gyms out here. I mean, just across the street, we have 2 gyms. Right down the street, we have a gym. Actually, I think that one closed, but there's a lot of gyms out here. So that is something that I know a lot of our clients, when they're reaching out, is like, hey, what kind of gyms do you guys have out there? I know you guys can find it on Google or ChatGPT, but there are some smaller mom and pop gyms here that charge a little bit more to give you more of that concierge service, which is kind of cool.
And there's Pilates bars that, you know, you're going to be spending over $100 a month. But then there's a lot of things put on by the city. There's yoga at the city center that happens a couple times a week. I haven't gone, so I don't know the cost of that. But like Robert said, a lot of different things you can do besides just your normal LA Fitness. But it's available, and the price is the same no matter if you're in this state or that state. Your cost for the gym membership for the month is going to be the same.
So let's just recap. We talked about the home prices. We talked about the secondary cost of the home prices, which I always talk about. That's super important to know about. We talked about the taxes, whether it's sales tax, property tax, car registration, all that stuff. We talked about the grocery bills. We talked about the gasoline. We talked about the entertainment. We talked about the expensive cost of kids' sports. And that pretty much sums it up, because I know that there are those few things that people are thinking about when it comes to the cost of living, especially if you're relocating. Now, if you are thinking about making the move to Cumming, Georgia, I highly recommend to reach out to it. Not because we would love to talk to you, but we understand that relocation process. We've moved twice, so we know what to look for when making that move. Whether you're trying to find a home and you need someone there to be able to, you know, get on FaceTime and show you what it's like, we do all that for you. But make sure, most importantly, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we're talking about the pros and cons, the cost of living, regrets about living in Cumming. We talk about all that on our channel. So if you are thinking about relocating, this might be one of the most valuable channels to you before you make the move. I wish we would have looked at a YouTube video. We love our realtor that helped us out, but I just recommend hitting that subscribe button. We're releasing new videos every single week. And of course, if you are thinking about making the move, give us a call. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Until next video, you guys take care.